Good morning. My name is Maxwell Kelly. Today I'll be discussing discrimination against special populations. Here we have the agenda. This agenda serves as the framework for this presentation. It will act as an analysis of special groups within the United States. Identifying these special groups is essential for understanding diversity, biases, and discrimination within them. These factors define the challenges the groups face and offer unique insight into behaviors and perceptions regarding acculturation, beliefs, and norms within them. This presentation will also examine two cases of discrimination within two particular special groups. Examining the cases, explaining the long-term effects, relating this discrimination to the behavioral health field, and lastly, analyzing additional training that can alleviate the issues presented within the cases. Here we have special groups. These special populations exist and are defined to raise awareness and limit harm to individuals within these designated categories. These special groups exist in a broad spectrum of circumstances including geography, religion, culture, race, gender, sexual orientation, age, income status, and mental and physical capabilities. Two special groups commonly identified within the United States that face increased levels of discrimination are those in the LGBTQ community and individuals descended from the Arab cultures. These special groups are often marginalized and face levels of violence and harassment not seen by the majority of these other special populations. A study done by the Williams Institute discovered that nearly 46% of LGBTQ workers experience discrimination at their jobs in the form of verbal and sexual harassment, positions of employment being denied, shifts changed, and promotions withheld due to their sexual orientation. Meanwhile, individuals of Arab cultures have faced a significant increase in discrimination since the Hamas and Israel war began in 2023. Here we have the first case of discrimination against the LGBTQ population. This case identifies a Christian high school student who was expelled due to her transgender date to prom. Emily Wright, a Georgia senior at North Cobb Christian School, was set to graduate in 4 weeks. This time for young adults is exciting, usually focused on the future and celebrated by one last event together, prom. Emily and her parents filled out the necessary forms for her date to come to her school event, fearing the worst outcome would result in her date being removed from the dance because they were transgender. The principal called Emily into the office days before the prom and brought her world down around her. Due to the inclusion of an LGBTQ individual, she would be expelled, although the school eventually worked out a deal where Emily would formally withdraw from the school to ease the process of enrolling elsewhere. She explains that she feared for her future, wondering that if she could even graduate and get into college. This response by the school was drastic and seemingly overstepped the code of conduct given to students and parents. Although legal action is being pursued by the Wright's lawyer, the lawyer explained that private schools have more leeway with inclusivity. Despite this, they have accepted federal grants or have not explicitly followed their guidelines within their code of conduct, and there is opportunity for a case against the school. This slide explains long-term outcomes from conflict within the LGBTQ community and others. Although the case regarding Emily Wright has yet to conclude, the damage has already been done. Showing young adults that inclusivity comes with severe punishments creates a stigma that alters generational outlooks. It reflects a troubling view of LGBTQ within communities and highlights the destructive force of exclusion due to personal or cultural differences. Discrimination towards this special group is not new, however, with LGBTQ adults reporting high numbers of discrimination in the form of slurs, violence, sexual harassment, and harassment towards bathroom use. These numbers indicate a troubling trend which continues to impact many individuals within the United States. This high degree of discrimination and violence impacts the population of the special group, creating a hesitancy towards acculturation and a negative view towards majority cultures within the country. Furthermore, it deepens the divide, which can have an immensely negative impact on the mental health of this special group. Here we examine the second case against the second special group, in this case Arab culture. Following the attack on Israel made by Hamas in early October of 2023, a DoubleTree hotel owned by Hilton canceled an event organized by the Arab America Foundation. This clear presentation of discrimination coincides with a rapid increase in Islamophobia, which has increased on average of 7.4% since 2024 due to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. There has been an increase of employment discrimination, immigration and asylum, education discrimination, and hate crimes, according to the Washington Center's research, which coincides with the Gaza conflict, indicating that as world tensions flare, racial and cultural discrimination increases within the United States. While the establishment owner denied any allegations of racial discrimination against a special group, the Department of Justice filed a formal complaint resulting in an undisclosed agreement between the two parties. Despite this fairly straightforward resolution, many cases that involve violence seldom have any form of reconciliation. The long-term outcomes against discrimination against this special group coincide with the long-term outcomes from the last group. While the specific case regarding the hotel and the Arab American Federation was resolved quickly, the long-term effects of widespread cultural discrimination are far-reaching and long-lasting. The rise of Arab-centered global conflicts gives equal rise to Western-based Islamophobia, which in turn creates unfavorable treatment towards Arabs as a special group within the United States. This discrimination leads to alienation, creating hesitancy and issues around acculturation for Arab individuals. Furthermore, the generalized discrimination leads to specific issues such as racism, violence, unequal distribution of services, and opportunities related to healthcare, jobs, and social services. This systematic discrimination, heightened by recent political events around the world, create a long-term decline in mental health and class standing within the Arab population in the United States, leading to distrust for the system and treatment procedures, along with a disdain for the majority culture within the country. This pattern shows a failure to embrace Arab culture and protect individuals within this special group. Here we look at prejudice within the behavioral health field. Special groups, such as Arab cultures and the LGBTQ community, have faced a growing amount of discrimination in recent years. This drastically affects mental health within these groups. Despite needing an increased amount of treatment, the history of discrimination and maltreatment leads to a general sense of distrust of the system and processes required to receive help. Nearly 18% of LGBTQ adults reported avoiding health care due to anticipated discrimination, while 22% reported confirmed discrimination within the healthcare system. Likewise, individuals associated with Arab cultures have expressed an increase in mental health issues, heightening in the aftermath of world events. Despite this uptick in mental health concerns, Arab Americans express hesitancy to pursue treatment due to perceived stigmas, bias, and discrimination. Despite their differences, these special groups have shared experiences due to the systematic discrimination. It is imperative for mental health providers to accommodate these special groups' needs and offer a supportive and culturally competent environment to begin to change the narrative regarding the treatment of special groups in association with mental health. Lastly, we analyze additional training necessary to prevent this kind of discrimination from occurring. Although healthcare is often agreed upon as basic human right, personal beliefs, cultures, gender ideologies, and religion dictate care levels and outcomes. There is a direct correlation between individuals seeking care and the perceived level of inclusivity they will face. If patients in special groups have an overwhelming sense that they have been or will be discriminated against, they are less likely to pursue treatment. As mental health care providers, it is imperative that special groups are studied and thoroughly understood. This further education assists in developing strategies to address issues these groups face, as well as specific cultural and ideological accommodations that can be made to assist treatment and patient involvement. This education can be annual or event-oriented, however, should focus on addressing unique groups' needs and expectations to foster a welcoming and supportive environment. There is no way for mental health professionals to erase the hurt that these special groups have faced. However, fighting stigmas, creating trusting and supportive environments, and being culturally aware help to bridge the divide created by discrimination, violence, harassment, and intolerance of these special groups, which make up the United States and make it unique, diverse, and special.